here's an idea for you this weekend. You can take the whole family to the aquarium. They have all sorts of Halloween fun activities, games, even underwater pumpkin carving. So we had to send Ellen Taylor there this morning to get a peek at what's happening. And that is one big pumpkin behind you, the great pumpkin, perhaps.
It really is, and I always tell our guests before they come on with us, the only rule I have is to not swear, but it's really hard not to reference this as a big you-know-what pumpkin, because that's exactly what it is. It weighs about 1,700 pounds. But what's going to be happening with this pumpkin? You know, ladies, if you're watching, and maybe even guys do this too, before you go to a hairdresser to get a new hairstyle, don't you go online and look at pictures for inspiration? Well, that is what Russ Leno did. Now, he's going to be the one that's carving this big you-know-what pumpkin, and this is your inspiration. I thought when we said pumpkin carving, Russ, you're just going to do a little triangle face and eyes and call it a day. You're going to put that on this pumpkin.
Yes, this is the creature from the Black Lagoon. And here at the aquarium, we try to carve things that are aquatic. And this is one of the scariest aquatic monsters ever put on the screen.
Russ, you know what else is scary? You talking with your hands with this tool in your, hand. Is this what you're using to carve everything? I imagine you'd be using like a big chainsaw or something.
No, everything is done basically with, you know, I got two different sizes of knives. One's a 6-inch fillet and one's a 4-inch fillet. And then I have a number of other little clay tools and a few other little tools in here that I use for carving. So I have approximately about 20 tools that I'll use to carve this, and you know, this is one of my most important tools.
This just looks like a rock. What is that?
This is a color crayon, lithograph color crayon, and it will draw on the pumpkin, and it will, you know, I can sketch out what I want to have. So the object is to sketch the object that I'm going to carve onto the pumpkin, and that way, as I'm carving along, I don't carve off what I want to carve.
Right, because you can't put it back on essentially after that.
You can put it back on, which is kind of amazing. You can use bamboo skewer sticks and super glue. Gorilla Glue is what I use a lot, so that you can glue it back on and put other things onto it. So there is your ways of fixing pumpkins these days, not like we were before. I
also want to just put this into reference, because it's not just you that does all this work. Of course, Linda here is the assistant, the glue that holds him together. But this is the funny part, is that look at her in comparison to this big 1,700-pound pumpkin. Like, this thing is huge. I have to ask you though, I thought this pumpkin probably took years to grow this big. How long did it take?
From the time this turned into a little round ball. Okay. So just your first little round ball.
Like 3 years?
113 days.
I'm sorry. So you're telling me, like, in a little over 90 days, a little over 3 months, we went from this to that?
To this, yes. They put on, right near the end, they put on about 60 pounds a day. 60 pounds a day.
My gosh!
So you're looking at 240 pounds in 4 days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
300 pounds in 3 days. So that's what this thing does. It just starts moving.
It starts moving, and these two will start moving and carving and cutting, starting today and going throughout the weekend. Here at the Seattle Aquarium, you're going to want to see this finished product, but of course, as you can imagine, that takes a lot of time, so it's not going to get done here in these 2 minutes that we have. But make sure you come on down, check it out. Coming up next hour, underwater pumpkin carving. What? Does that happen?
Yeah, sounds interesting.
I'll show you that it does, coming up later this morning.
All right, Ellen, thank you so much.